for joining us. We begin our show tonight with a $13 million commitment from the federal government to build a temporary school in Eabametoong First Nation. That, of course, comes after the devastating fire that destroyed the John C. Yes-No Education Center last month. It left nearly 300 students between kindergarten and grade 9 without a school. Indigenous Services Minister Patty Haidu admits the timelines will be tight if they want to get the modular units up the ice road and students ready for the fall.
It is a matter of weeks. The work has begun. I have to really compliment Eabametoong Council and the technical experts at Matawa who worked really hard together to get us a quote that was pretty detailed, and so we've approved that quote. Now it's a matter of just getting the logistics sorted to capitalize on the ice roads that remain. Obviously, there is some contingency funding for any kind of airlift that might have to also support those transfers of modular units.
Haidu says the design phase for a permanent school is already underway. She estimates it could take up to 3 years to complete once construction begins. And we do apologize for that technical difficulty. We'll bring it back here in Thunder Bay now, where it was a very exciting night over at Fort William Historical Park. Many young athletes, their families, and members of the community gathered together for the opening ceremonies to kick off the 2024 Ontario Winter Games. Nev Van Pelt reports.
The cold temperatures Friday night didn't stop the Thunder Bay community from showing up to cheer on hundreds of young athletes as they paraded into the opening ceremonies. The last time Thunder Bay hosted the games was 50 years ago, so it was a very special night for many, especially event chair Barry Stribe.
I'm tearing up right now. It's what this is all about. I keep saying that to everybody that, why are we doing this major event in our community? Well, it gives an opportunity for these young athletes, 12 to 18 years old, to show their talents.
Many hours of work went into preparing for this moment over the past couple of years, and Special Events Chair Karen Kadoff couldn't be more pleased with all of the local support in bringing the opening ceremonies all together. She explains the significance of choosing Fort William Historical Park as their venue.
We chose Fort William Historical Park because we really wanted to showcase what Thunder Bay had to offer. And so these are people that are most likely coming to the city for the very first time. So we wanted them, when they're doing their sports, they're going to go around, they're going to see the different venues that we have. So we wanted to show them something that was very different, than something that was very Thunder Bay.
It was a very eventful night with the athletes' parade, opportunities to make your own sign, meet the official Winter Games mascot, and much more. A moment that had the crowd very excited was the lighting of the cauldron. It was a full-circle moment for Zygmunt Grzelewski, who performed the lighting of the cauldron 50 years ago after winning the first gold medal of the 1974 Ontario Winter Games, and he was honored to do it again this year.
The next thing you know, they're asking me to light the torch, and of course I said yes, and I was elated to be able to do that. And being able to do it again is unbelievable. It just brought back all those good memories, and I said, of course.
The opening ceremonies will wrap up with a free concert from the Lockyer Boys, and the athletes will be back in action Saturday morning, starting with wrestling at 8:30. Nev Van Pelt, TBT News.
Be sure to stick around for our sports segment later in the show, where Nev Van Pelt will have all the highlights from today's action in skiing and diving. Jones Insurance is celebrating its Milestone 40th anniversary, so to commemorate the occasion, the company wanted to create an initiative that would best represent how they value making connections with the community. This week, the Jones Insurance Co. Working Corner was unveiled at Goods & Co. Market. The space is meant to encourage collaboration between entrepreneurs, students, business professionals, and newcomers to build relationships in the heart of downtown Thunder Bay. Company President Jeff Jones explains why this is the perfect location to expand their local legacy.
Yes, there's a lot of parallels and synergies with Jones and with Goods & Co. For us, we're looking at creating collaborations and growth with partnerships with our clients, and that's exactly what Goods & Co. has done. So I think for this space here, it works as an incubator. It works as a place for people to come, meet together, get to work on ventures together, and to feel inclusive and warm welcome.
Also at the event, Jones Insurance premiered a special 40th anniversary video as a nostalgic look back at the company's history, while getting a glimpse into the future. Community members can look forward to the release of more videos in the coming months that will showcase their partnerships. In an effort to ensure that everyone can enjoy the magic of live performances, Cambrian players kicked off their Spotlight on Inclusivity campaign earlier this week to help raise money for building access and washroom renovations. After renting spaces for almost 70 years, the theater group purchased its new home, the former Polish Hall on Spring Street, back in 2017. And while the building is functional, members say it requires retrofitting to be accessible for all patrons and volunteers. Through this campaign, the group is hoping to raise $150,000, which will go towards installing an elevator lift and a fully accessible main floor washroom. Fundraising director Ken Horton says by improving access to the facility, he's hoping to attract an even larger audience and more members and volunteers.
I've had family members who accessibility limitations kept them from being able to enjoy everything in life, including the arts. It is non-trivial for them to be part of the Cambrian family because getting into the building and being able to have the dignity of using the building and the facilities is held back from them just by nature of how it was built back in the day. And so being able to transform that and have these people be part of the theater family, it's amazing.
Donations can be made on the Cambrian Players website. The Thunder Bay Museum hosted a dual announcement on Thursday. The museum is once again hosting the Indigenous Ingenuity exhibit, while Science North officials were also on hand to announce the events coming up during the week-long Thunder Bay Science Festival. Jaden Billick has the story.
The first part of this announcement at the Thunder Bay Museum was a celebration of the return of the Indigenous Ingenuity exhibit. This updated version, called Timeless Inventions, features a mix of science and culture, documenting the diversity and interconnected resourceful ways that Indigenous knowledge and innovation of the past has provided for the local and global community. This interactive display features a hunting simulation game where players shoot arrows at different targets, as well as an immersive dog sledding virtual reality video. The presentation also includes maps of different communities and displays about language and shelter. Museum Executive Director Scott Bradley says this exhibit is a great fit for them.
So today is kind of the launch and announcement of Indigenous Ingenuity, which is being hosted by the museum on behalf of Science North and Indigenous Tourism Ontario. So we're very excited to have this exhibit here in our galleries. You know, it's important to bring this sort of knowledge and history of science to our patrons and visitors and the people of Thunder Bay.
The launch of the new exhibit coincides with the start of the annual Science Festival. Science North will be at the Snow Day celebration on Monday from 4 to 8 p.m. That's followed by several other events next week. And it all wraps up with a Science Carnival at Inner City Shopping Centre on Saturday the 24th.
Yeah, today is the kickoff for our 12th annual Thunder Bay Science Festival, which is a celebration of science in our community and our region. It is a wonderful moment when we can have so many incredible things happening in our community, and we know that Indigenous knowledge is the first science, and so it's great to be able to showcase the Indigenous Ingenuity exhibit at the same time as our Thunder Bay Science Festival.
Jaden Billick, TBT News.
We'll head back to Fort William Historical Park, which is celebrating the winter season by hosting its annual Voyager Winter Carnival this weekend. The event is packed with family-friendly activities and entertainment, and officials are expecting to see over 1,000 visitors over the 2 days. Jessica Clement reports.
Fort William Historical Park was packed with families on Saturday for the first day of the annual Voyager Winter Carnival. The 2-day event has a number of family-friendly activities on site, including a Zorb Ball track, carnival games, axe throwing, as well as crafts and demonstrations inside the buildings. A fan favorite activity was the Sugar Shack, where visitors were able to eat maple taffy.
And then you roll it slowly, take it so slowly. Here we go. See?
The carnival also has a number of musicians and entertainers throughout the weekend. Saturday afternoon's entertainment in the Great Hall started with a performance by string trio Café Paris. General Manager Patrick Morash admits the lack of winter did throw them a bit of a curveball when it came to planning this year's activities.
Our team here is incredibly adept and flexible, and we were saving snow while we had it. So we were stockpiling snow and protecting it very carefully so the Sugar Shack folks could have clean snow, so that we could build our castle in the front, so that we could at least do some snow sculpting as well. So it was a bit of a curveball. We had grand plans for a really lovely skating path that was all ready to go, and then Mother Nature did her thing. But we still have lots of wonderful things for everybody to take part in.
Morash anticipates 1,200 to 1,400 people will come through Saturday and Sunday. We spoke to a couple visitors and asked them what their favorite part of the carnival was.
Well, we've been here a bunch. It was really enjoyable. What I really always done so far is the human bowls, and Maria was scared to go in them. And yeah, they were really, really fun.
We usually come and we get the maple taffy on a stick.
The carnival will continue on Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
And we're now joined by sports anchor Josh Mariano. Josh, plenty of fun over at Fort William Historical Park this weekend. But it's not the only great event going on, of course, because as we mentioned earlier in the show, the Ontario Winter Games has kicked off.
Yeah, well, we had the opening ceremonies yesterday and some futsal. Love me some futsal. And we had some more events. We'll have the details for you coming up after the break.